Hey, good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to Swahili Sunday. I forgot to publicize this. I was sick for a couple of days. Thankfully, it wasn't anything more than nausea. Um, had something going on. So I just kind of was behind on publicizing things. But I felt kind of in my spirit that today was the topic for today would be forgiveness, which in Swahili is samaha, which samaha, it means forgiveness. And gosh, forgiveness, that's, we hear a lot about that. But lately I've just, I don't know, been coming across a lot of things about forgiveness. I guess when you go through something like this where your life is disrupted and everything is changed, that you start to consider and think about things. So I think a lot of people are thinking about different things in their life, and forgiveness is one of them. And I saw somebody had put up a really great quote that said, "Forgiveness isn't for today; it's for the future." So, or it's not for the past, excuse me. Forgiveness is not for the past, it's for the future. So you're not doing anything but helping yourself for the future. And I've always said forgiveness isn't for the other person, it's for you. And I've used that example. Oh, Meow Mix wants to come and say hello. Say hello, Meow Mix. Here's Meow Mix. Say hi. She has to sit on me, you see. I'm getting ready to I wanted to do this and then go take my walk. I've been making it a habit to take a walk, and I usually walk down the middle of the street so I don't get in close contact with anybody, but I'm walking about 1.5 miles or so every day just to get out and move my body, and then coming home and doing some stretching. So that's one thing I'm doing to take care of myself, but I'm also keeping with a normal routine, like making my bed and things like that. But this topic of forgiveness, we actually hear it in the Lord's Prayer. We have, forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. And a lot of people say the Lord's Prayer and just say those words and not really think about what they mean. There's a great proverb that says love prospers. Proverbs 17:9 says love prospers when a fault is forgiven, but dwelling on it separates close friends. Jesus, even on the cross, said, "Forgive them, Father. They know not what they do," when he was dying. So forgiveness is a big, it's people actually talk about forgiveness in the health sense, that forgiveness can actually poison your body and cause you to be sick. There's one of my Go Pink rules of engagement is release resentment, saying resentment is a poison we take that we think kills other people, but it really kills our spirit. And so what is this thing about forgiveness, and why is it even important? There's another saying, and my pastor says it all the time: hurt people hurt people. So when you're hurt, when you have unforgiveness, when you when you don't want to forgive somebody else, some people that you have unforgiveness towards may not even realize that you have unforgiveness towards them. For instance, obviously my mother died when I was 12 years old, and I had a lot of unforgiveness towards her. And it's kind of like, okay, really? Who's that hurting? Is that hurting her? No, she's gone. It's hurting me. I carried that unforgiveness towards her for so many years. And she was an alcoholic. She like did the best that she could, with what she had. So there was nothing that I could really do about that. So I'm carrying this anger and this resentment and this unforgiveness towards her, and it's cluttering up my mind, it's cluttering up my body, it's cluttering up my being. And the only person that's hurting is me. I saw a movie a couple nights ago. I've just been doing a lot of Netflix and kind of working on my Shopify store, because I'm planning on, when this whole coronavirus thing is over, that have have the business and helping my women still. People can still buy things, but a lot of people aren't thinking about that right now. But I saw this movie about this daughter who had unforgiveness towards her parents. Her parents had adopted her, and she was angry that they quote unquote lied to her all her life, and everybody was laughing at her because she was adopted and she's the only one who didn't know it. And so that was the storyline from the movie. And the mother was dying, and they were trying to reach out to the daughter to see if she would at least connect with them. It'd been years, like 20 years or something. And she didn't. So the mother died, and they had the funeral. And actually, the woman's husband in the movie calls and says, "Oh, I'm just, checking in, whatever." And like, well, she died, and the funerals just happened. And actually, in the movie, when the mother was dying, she handed the daughter's Bible to her husband and said, "Please give this to her and tell her I forgive her, and I hope she forgives me." So the father travels all the way across the US from the East Coast to California to give this Bible to the daughter, and gives the Bible to that finally meets her. I mean, the husband says, "Oh, I've been talking to your dad. He's coming." And she's like, "Your mother died." And she's like, "Oh, well, when's the funeral?" And the funeral's already happened. "Oh, well, I wouldn't have gone anyway. They lied to me. They ruined my life." And the husband's like, "Maybe it's time to kind of let that go." And she's like, "No, my life was a lie, blah, blah, blah." So she's hanging on to this resentment, this hatred and stuff. And the father finally makes it there with the Bible and gives the Bible to the daughter. And the daughter realizes she's been an idiot for all these years for hanging on to that resentment. And wow, I'm going to have this renewed relationship with my father. Well, in the movie, the father dies. He was going there that was his mission. And after he completed that, he died and went to heaven to be with the wife. But the whole thing about that movie, the sadness of it all, was just the fact that so much time was lost over resentment and unforgiveness. So much time was lost over the anger, over the strife, over the resentment. And, I always, I have people who've hurt me, and it's hard to let go of that hurt. And you have resentment and unforgiveness is because we've all been done wrong. Every single one of us, any of you watching this, has been done wrong. I've been done wrong. You've been done wrong. We've all been done wrong by somebody in our life at some point in our life. And okay, that's just a part of life because people are human. I do stupid things all the time. I've done hurtful things to people. I've done stupid things to people. I've hurt people. And I'm very remorseful for it. And I'm a human. I still do stupid stuff and sometimes hurt people. I hurt somebody the other day by being kind of snappy with them. And I immediately thought, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I had to apologize for my behavior. And, I went off on somebody else for taking something away from me that I really cherished, and I'm like, who is that person? Where did that person come from? What the heck happened? What did I do? So I had to make amends for that behavior. I'm human. I'm stupid sometimes. I get in my head and do dumb things. I'm not afraid to admit it. I do it a whole lot less than I used to in the past because I used to live in that chaos because I grew up with alcoholic parents. So that whole strife and chaos and stuff, I kind of stirred that up in my younger years. But did a lot of work on myself to heal from that. But that doesn't mean that I don't still make mistakes and I don't still hurt people. But people have hurt me as well. And there are a couple of people who I just kind of separated myself from and didn't even tell them that they hurt me. But I really feel like that they need to know, but I have some unforgiveness towards them that I have to deal with and pray about and release. But I pray about it every day to get rid of it, to make it go away, and it's not easy when somebody's hurt you, when somebody's hurt your heart or hurt your beingness or hurt your friendship or a family member has hurt you. It's very, very hard to let go of that. It's hard to release that resentment, but God calls us to forgive. And that's we're coming into Easter very soon, and for those who are believers, Jesus died for our sins. He forgave us our sins. So who are we not to forgive somebody else? Who are we not to do our best to have forgiveness towards others? Because we're all just going through this together, and especially now with this coronavirus going on, you don't know who in your circle of friends or family may get this virus and may actually die from it. So if you have some unforgiveness towards somebody, you might want to think about working through that and forgiving them before it's too late, before they're gone, and before you're somebody who's left crying and brokenhearted about not being able to make it right. I mean, my father died when I was 22, and we had a bit of a strained relationship. Even though we grew closer after I joined the Air Force, it was still kind of a splintered, disjointed relationship. And it wasn't until many years later that I did the work to heal my heart from all the things that I resented him for, that I resented my mother for. You know, I can't go back and make amends to him for that. I did actually go to my parents' graves and make amends for my part of hanging on to the unforgiveness. And let me tell you, that thing says that forgiveness isn't for the past, it's for the future. That really freed me up and freed my future and cleared all the clutter in my heart, in my mind. It enabled me to be able to let go, and clear up that space and not let that mess take up rent-free space in my head anymore. So I just wanted to share that because forgiveness was on my heart. My question to you is, who are you holding on to resentment for? Now, I want to caveat this by saying that doesn't mean you have to have those people back in your life. Back in my 20s, I had somebody beat me up and nearly choke me to death that I was in a actually he choked me unconscious, that I was in a relationship with. And I had 2 black eyes, my jawline here, my neck was swollen out to my jawline. I was all bruised. My arms and body were all bruised. You know, that person was crazy. He was a raging alcoholic is what he was. And you know, I made the mistake of getting involved with somebody like that in my younger years. And but I've forgiven him for that. But does that mean I'm going to have that guy back in my life? Oh, heck no. I don't even think so. I even actually called to make amends to him for my side of the relationship because I did my part in it. Um, one, by staying around and getting involved in that situation. But I'm not going to have that person back in my life. That they're dangerous. They hurt me, but I can let it go from here. I can let it go from my heart, and I don't have any stirred up anger or stirred up emotion about that. I just, like, you know, I'm grateful that I'm still alive, that he didn't hold on to me a few more seconds and, you know, end my life back then. I was only 24 when that happened, and yeah, I might not be here. So I'm grateful that I'm still here, and I just wanted to share those things with you about, you know, forgiveness. Forgive, especially now, like I said a minute ago, especially now in these times that we're in. Many of us are stuck in our house. Many of us are out of work. We're not able to do anything. I'm going to go take, like I said at the beginning, I'm getting ready to go take a walk. I have my walking gear on. I'm going to go out and take a walk and you know, move my body, and then come home and watch the church service online and work on my Shopify store. But I just wanted to share that with you today. And oh, it is Swahili Sunday, and I always do share a product of the week. Let's see. I saw these here. This is the product of the week. These are trivets. These are little handmade trivets. They're made out of papyrus reed that's grown in Kenya. Some people actually put these on their wall. They make a great wall decoration, but they're good for you know, they're a hot pad. Put your plate on it, put your pot on it, put your food on it. They're very sturdy. They're very sturdily made, and it's very fashionable and great. You know, this might be something to brighten your house if you have the income to do so. And you know what I want to say about this is, my women business is stopped. All the retail outlets that I'm in have definitely closed, so there's no more sales there. But my women still need to earn a living. So some people that have the means are considering paying their housekeeper or their dog walker, even though they can't do that. If you have the means, maybe you could consider to make a little investment in one of these products, so I can keep helping and supporting my ladies. I'm actually going to send them funding for food packs in about a week's time, a week or so, probably the middle of the month, to make sure that they have food. Unfortunately, they live in the slum and they don't have the ability to wash their hands. And I'm just praying that the count for the virus is under 200 in Kenya, and it hasn't reached Kitale where my ladies live. So I'm praying that it doesn't. But if you if you have the means to make a purchase, go check out the Shopify store, basketsandbeadskenya.com. I'll put it in the feed in a little bit. Actually, I'll do that right now. I think it's only going to show. This is going to show up on the page and not on my site, but on the page, it's also in the Facebook page, basketsandbeadskenya.com. If you can, I'll ship it out right away, and appreciate your support. All right, so just remember, I'm going to say this verse again, Proverbs 17:9. Love prospers when a fault is forgiven, but dwelling on it separates close friends. So do your work to release that resentment and have forgiveness. And one person that you may overlook forgiving, which I did when I was going through releasing resentment and doing my work around that, I forgot to forgive myself. And some of us, we're our worst critics, and we beat ourselves up before we beat anybody else up. So make sure you forgive yourself. You work on forgiving yourself too. You're only human. If you can make a choice to make a better choice and do some work to not do the same thing that you might have done to hurt somebody, even if you do it again, you could still work on yourself continually and get to the point where you recognize quicker that, oh my gosh, I just did that again. And then eventually it'll go away. Those type of things that you may do that may be hurtful to people. So that's my message for today. I hope you guys have a great Sunday. If you're not able to get out in your area and walk, do something inside, stretch, do something to move your body, because being still, things will cramp up. So do some yoga stretches, do a little bit of stretching of your legs, your arms. I kind of do this kind of thing a lot, stretching my arms, and then I do some yoga stretches for my legs. So do something to take care of yourself. Make sure you stay hydrated, and make sure that you do what they say. Wash your hands, avoid people. If you get packages or whatever, have a plan to wipe those things down before they come in the house, or don't bring them in the house. I've been opening my boxes outside, and bringing the item in, and I kind of have a dirty area and move it into a clean area after I've cleaned it. My shoes stay by the front door, and then I wipe them off. And yeah, I'm doing everything I can to take care of me and my health, and keep myself healthy and safe. I wish the same for you, and I hope you have a great Sunday. Nakupenda.